All right, everybody. Adam and Mike here. Just the Tips Podcast, episode 81, coming at you simulcast.
Yeah, dude. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm fresh back from 3 days at the Women's State Championship for high school. We just got finished up a minute ago. I'm mentally, emotionally, and financially exhausted. So,
Yeah.
How about you, man?
Dude,
How you doing?
I'm doing good. We just had a really good weekend, which we'll touch base with in a couple episodes. But
Episode
I'm feeling good,
82. You should be feeling good, man. Like I said, all the hard work is paying off, and it's paying big dividends. And
I'm in front of the net, the practice net here. This is where I do all my grinding when I can't get to the course. So
that's the Just the Tips training facility, Saugerties location.
The outdoor Saugerties location, yeah. So
Gotcha,
listen, dude,
gotcha.
we gotta catch up on some stuff, man. We had a really good weekend 2 weekends ago. We got some footage of where we were that's going to be coming out in 2 weeks from now. Let's talk about it, dude. Go ahead.
So, long story short is you and I are officially the biggest Mike Strantz fans in the world. It's undisputed. Heavyweight champ Mike Strantz fans.
You get a belt.
And we should get the Strantz belt, right? Well, we deserve it because we've completed our mission of playing all 7 Mike Strantz courses on the East Coast. This is
The Strantz 7.
Something that the Strantz 7, and something that started out that I mean maybe a little too aggressively tried to accomplish last Thanksgiving evening to play all the ones on the East Coast. But long story short is that we needed to tick off a very important course that we hadn't played before, Stonehouse. And again, there's I don't want to call it a sister course because they're all part of the Strantz family, but it's the other Virginia Strantz extravaganza.
Yeah.
The big boy, the longest one. I think we'd all consider it to be the hardest one, the championship one, which is Royal New Kent. So
yeah.
What a weekend.
So let's recap everything real quick. Last Thanksgiving, we decided we wanted to do all 7 in like 7 days, 3 states. Plus, we were throwing Ocean Course in there because we were there.
Might as well.
We were unsure about Bulls Bay leaving. Driving down there, we still didn't have
know if we could get
a
on.
tee time. We had everything else set up, but it's I think it was November 29th that we were leaving.
Yeah.
So, we're talking Virginia is a little, iffy
It's
on
the
weather.
northernmost southern state, I think, is the best way to put it, right? Virginia's down south, right?
The northernmost southern state. Okay. All right. What do you get at Hampton Inn there? Do you get grits?
That's how you know if you're down south. If you get grits, if you're getting oatmeal, you know you're in the north. If you get grits, you know you're in the south. And Virginia is a grits adjacent Hampton Inn, yes.
Okay. So long story short is they had some weather that we actually were unable to play Stonehouse, which is in Tawana, Virginia. It was the last day of our trip. We were actually going to hit it on the way back up, and they had to put covers on their greens. Because
it was the second week of December, and
yeah. I think the date was technically like December 6th that we were supposed to be playing it. So
it's a day that'll live in infamy. Yeah.
That we just didn't cap it off. Plus, it was one we haven't played yet at all. So we had played some of the other ones, like we played Caledonia True Blue. That was our first time playing Tobacco, and obviously Bulls Bay. We ended up getting on Bulls Bay. So since Thanksgiving, it's kind of been hanging over my head, at least anyway, of like, dude, we got to go play this course. And since we're going down there, it's only 20 minutes away. We got to play Royal New Kent and play it, because it was November 29th. It was cold. We had just drove through the night. We left at midnight and got there at 6:30 in the morning, hit up a Cracker Barrel, and then played Royal New Kent, which is definitely the toughest Strantz course.
In the Strantz catalog.
We wanted to get another crack at it with some sleep under our belt. So
what was great about this is we reached out to our partners, Tim MacArthur and Willie Downs at Royal New Kent, and our new friends, Adam and Rich from Stonehouse, and again, couldn't be more accommodating. So if you're in the greater Virginia area, or as we've said, or as you're going to see in all the content, 5 short hours from the greater New York metro area, you're playing the northern 2 most Mike Strantz courses, and they don't disappoint. They're much fun.
Dude,
if you're fans
so
of Tobacco
fun.
Road, if you're fans of Tot Hill, True Blue, Caledonia, you're going to love these 2 courses. They're different than the other ones,
They totally
but they're no
are.
less spectacular.
They totally are. So let's get into it. So Toanna, Virginia, we're looking in the area for a place to stay, and we're Hampton Inn kind of guys, and there really wasn't anything.
Hilton Honor Diamond, remember? It's not a big deal. It's like 17 years now.
And there really wasn't anything, and I told you to reach out to Tim because I remember seeing Bob Does Sports was at Royal New Kent, and they were staying in this house that was a Royal New Kent house. So I'm like, ask Tim about that. Now, Tim, great guy. I worked with him at Kiowa. We kind of had a little crossover in our careers. Willie Downs is Adam's new best friend.
Love that man.
So we reached out, and they told us about Shamrock Hill.
So what they said is they had an Airbnb that was available that nobody was using that weekend. They said, we just kind of got to be in and out of there in a hurry because congratulations to the Downs family. Willie's daughter was getting married the next weekend, and they needed the house for guests. But you and I have stayed in Airbnbs before, so it sounded great. And they were very generous, and we truly appreciate Shamrock Hill. So Friday morning, we do leg day. We jump in the car. We scoot down. First stop, Stonehouse, right? Because we hadn't played it before.
Yeah.
We put about 20 minutes out. There's a little highway. I forget the name of it, but it's like a 70-mile-an-hour road. And you said, you go, hey, you're slowing down the closer we get. And I think I admitted, I go, I'm a little nervous right now. I don't want, and my wife coined the term, I don't want to experience anticipation. I'm so excited to play Stonehouse, to complete the 7 sisters of the Strantz East Coast thing. And I go, but what if it doesn't live up? What if it's not as good? What if it doesn't have like a great drive-in? What if the clubhouse isn't great? What if the first hole isn't spectacular? Right?
So
I'm starting to get nervous.
One of the things that I do, especially when we're going to the scope out some of these courses, is do a little homework. Now,
I don't.
I do, right? I want to know what we're getting ourselves into. I want to know what my golf game is getting itself into. I want to know what I need to record, So I did a little homework on Stonehouse, and there wasn't a ton of footage out there on the web, or we'll say any most recent stuff. There's a couple out there, but I didn't see a ton of footage of this stuff. So I kind of was a little nervous with you. I was excited but nervous.
To the point where you're like, well, hurry up, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm getting
Dude's
nervous.
doing 55 and a 70.
So we pull up to the place, and the first thing that really impressed me was the grand entrance. I haven't seen a grand entrance like this far north. And what do I mean by a grand entrance? If you're down in Myrtle, if you're down in Orlando, they put at the edge of the property these giant walls. The purpose is it's kind of like a billboard, but it's probably
but they're kind of like a
retaining wall.
Yeah, but almost a gate. Right, It would be like the 2 sides, and then there would be a gate going across. But there's no gate; it's just them 2 brick walls.
Yeah, but it's this brick wall, and it's 40 feet long, 10 feet high, and it's got fountains, and it says Stonehouse across it. To me, that means big money, fancy stuff, nice golf course. You get onto the property. Unbelievably manicured as you're going down. Now, they do have a big residential area down there. There's the old part of Stonehouse and the new part of Stonehouse. But as you get down, the one thing that caught me, and we were both kind of peeking and looking, like when you pull up to Caledonia, I mean, you're looking at the trees, you see the course. You're at Tobacco Road. From the time you get off the main road, you see the course. Tot Hill, you see it. You see the course, right? Even
True
Royal
Blue.
New Kent. Once you get to True Blue, you see the course. Royal New Kent. Once you get Bulls Bay, you're driving up the thing. You don't see the course. You catch like a little glimpse of like there's something over there. So now I'm even more nervous. And so we pull into the formal parking lot, right? And tall pines, kind of like Tobacco Road or kind of like Royal New Kent. And then you pull up to the Stonehouse. And the Stonehouse is actually the original clubhouse, but it's the bar and the restaurant. And it's gigantic and it's massive and it's beautiful. And then they put the clubhouse or the pro shop in with the koi pond and the waterfall. And again, just as nice as it could be. And I was like, all right. I'm like, we're off to a tremendous start.
Yeah. So I was pretty excited, seeing the pines coming through. Kind of, I would go as far as say exactly like Tobacco Road. You're kind of coming in like that. There's pines everywhere. You can kind of see through the pines. I think it was probably done a little bit on purpose. But let's just say this: Stonehouse had to be brought back to life. All right. Another Strantz course that the owners ended up going bankrupt and letting it go. It was the same owners that owned Royal New Kent. Another course that had to be brought back to life was Tot Hill Farm. Tot Hill Farm, I believe, is the most recent. But Stonehouse, I think, is... based on the golf world, I feel like Stonehouse is like the seventh kid. You know what I mean? Do you agree with me there?
I see. I understand exactly what you're saying because there's two things that separate out Stonehouse from the rest of the collection. Number one is they haven't got to the point where they're manicuring it yet, right? The design
I think it just needs
awesome.
to mature.
Well, listen, I mean, they brought this thing back from the brink of disaster.
Yeah.
Right? It is an incredibly playable condition. You're not going to be disappointed with the condition.
No.
But it's not like ramped up and manicured, but it's also not $250 a round. I think we're saying midweek rounds are $50-$60 and, weekend rounds are $60-$70, something like that.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is I would say two things about it. One is it's the secret. So not the seventh, like the redheaded stepchild, but the one nobody talks about, and it's the farthest north. And like I said, it's special in its own way, and we'll talk about why it's special. But the other thing is that it's emerging. Like when you were a kid, did you know a band before they were famous? And you're like, dude, I knew that band before they were on MTV. I knew that band.
Yeah.
We saw them in like a club, in Saugerties, and now they're playing stadiums.
Yeah.
So
I think that could
course.
be that's Stonehouse. But here's what I'm saying. There's no reason why it should be that. Like it should be on this big stage already. You know what I mean? But I think it's just I think that
their marketing is a little different too. When we talked to Adam Rich, the pro and the general manager down there, they're imagine being a member of a Mike Strantz club. Now they're curating a traditional membership like the course that we belong to, right? Where say Tot Hill Farm has 6 members and people are flying in from around the world to play it.
Yeah.
Where this is a members-driven community golf course that happens to be a Mike Strantz course, as opposed to, hey, listen, we're gonna try and push 250 tee times a day through this place.
Right.
So it's just a different feel.
I really did enjoy, it not being super busy. That was kind of nice.
So here was the first thing that tripped me up, right? And like I said, believe me, we're gonna brag this course up. It couldn't be better. But I want to tell you the first thing that also had me like very like a little agita we hit some range balls. They have a very good practice facility there. Can hit drivers on it. Nothing. It's really good. But I go over to the putting green. You're talking to Rich, and I putt.
I was talking to
and the ball
Adam.
goes
Adam ended up coming over, and then he was like, "Hey, we got to go." He's like, I want to play a couple holes with you guys, but I got a lesson. I was like, "All right, well then we'll go now." I'm like, "How are the greens?" And then he told me, and then I walk up to
I'm
you,
over there
and I'm like,
putting,
"Yo,
I'm
how
like-
are the greens?"
I'm like, what the? They're. I'm like, dude. I'm like, these greens are kind of slow. I'm like, you're used to, Tobacco Road or Tot Hill running at 10s. Myrtle Beach always runs their greens at 10s. They're not lightning fast, but they're very consistent. Very quick, right?
So
And
I
these
wasn't
are
I wasn't gonna be able to get over there to putt because I had to just go get you, and we were gonna go to first tee. He goes, "They're slow," but he said it with confidence, and he goes, "We keep them that way."
He's like, they're slow.
He was like, we keep them that way because pace of play would be 6 hours out here, and you guys would be 5, 6, 7 putting greens. And I'm like, all right, like, I know it's a Mike Strantz course, but like, okay, dude, they're doing you a favor by keeping them slow, and they're not like slow. They're doing you an absolute favor by keeping them that way. And trust me when I say this, they're not like.
No, they're not.
This isn't golf slow, but they're they're on the slower side.
It's the big time courses that we play. We're used to running them 10s, 11s.
Yeah.
They've been rolled. They've been chopped. They've been
9s.
cut. And well, listen. I don't have a stemp meter out there, but they're slower than what I'm used to playing. And usually that's indicative of a course that's like, oh, we don't have the energy or the equipment or the wherewithal or the fertilizer.
No.
That's not this.
They
That's
keep them
not
slow
this.
to do you a favor
to make
to
sure
where
that you don't shoot
jump off a bridge.
100
Yeah.
out there, to make sure that you have an enjoyable time. Because I can think of, we played it 2 days, we played 36 holes, and I can think of a dozen times where I got away with one that was a little short, or I got away with one that I powered through the break, or I got away with one that I hit a little bit too far. And if they were running at resort fast, you'd have been off the green and into a bunker. You'd have been off the green
a bunker,
and into the
water.
pond.
Yeah. There's so
Dude,
many
I had a hard
times
enough
that
time with
it is saving you that they're slow.
So the impression, like right out the gate, is like, all right, a little apprehensive. I can't see the big bold course. I'm not putting on the fast greens. And then you get up to the first tee box and fly the drone.
Yeah. So I'm flying the drone, and you're talking because you got to interview them, and you're getting stuff. I'm like, all right, let me fly this drone, and I just zip it out there. Little par 4 dogleg right, nothing crazy, right? Nothing crazy. I'm looking at the screen. I'm like, okay,
350 downhill.
350 par 4 dogleg right. So I fly it back. Boom, you did your interview. I'm like, all right, let's go play. Let's start playing. So, I think Adam hit first, and then you hit. You hit your normal little drive. Left center of the fairway, maybe trickles a little to the left side of the fairway, and he goes. That's not bad. You're just not going to be able to see the green from there. I said.
Like, see the green. Like,
I'm like, what? Okay. I'm like, I just flew the drone. It's a dog-leg right. I said, what do you mean? He goes, oh, you'll see when you get up there. So I hit my drive.
We go over there.
I hit my drive to the right, and I'm like, all right, we go over there. Dude, 100-yard drop.
It's a canyon.
To the green. It was
kidney-shaped
coolest thing. And I was just mind-blown that I didn't even notice any of that on the camera, on the drone. It was crazy.
So your second shot, I had it's a short par 4, and like 125 downhill, but it was such a dramatic drop. I go, what are you hitting to a canyon? And it sits down like in this bowl. So again, in the pantheon, in the catalog of Mike Strantz courses with unbelievable opening holes, this one's right up there with the best. The only thing is the whole thing from the time you get there until you're hitting your second shot, you're still waiting for Mike Strantz to appear. And then it's like, here I am. Take a look at this. And you're like, finally, there we go.
Ready.
And it's
Get ready.
Oh, dude, here we go. So first hole, Second hole. You got anything else on the first hole? Because the second hole was so creative.
I mean, I'm going to be
and
putting
so
footage
incredible.
up, so.
The second hole, and we were fortunate to be with Rich and Adam, and they're like, "Hey, we're not going to play this tee box today, but you guys should, as you're out here. We're just going to play from the blues." There's 2 alternate tee boxes, one that makes you carry 170 yards of water, but comes in at an tee intersection of the hole. Where we're playing back here straight down, but this other tee box is like an intersection to it.
Yeah.
But now you got 170 yards to carry, and there's a pro box way back there.
Yeah.
That I don't
Which
want
they
nothing
didn't
to do
have,
with.
they didn't have tees on it, but so to draw it up for you guys, hole number 2 from the blues and everything in front of that is just a straight par 4. Now, once up around the green and everything, it gets a little Strantzy, but it's a straight par 4. But this other one is coming in from over here, and you're shooting out of this. You got to carry the water, you got to carry the schmang, and come through this chute and actually make it around the corner. Like I said, I'm like, dude, I almost think you have to draw the ball away from the green to actually have a shot, like a straight shot towards the flag.
If you hit the ball 280, 290, you'd hit the 150-yard marker. But the 150-yard marker is really the aiming point for the normal blue tees, right?
Yeah,
if you're short of that, you're blocked out if you're right.
We were
so
the second
you hit
day.
250, 260. So like you said, you have to draw it away from the hole to get the shot. It's the most genius thing you ever saw because you go, if I cut it,
green,
and we did, and by
dude, the green was technically an island green. Right, it was a big green, but there was a creek going all the way around it. They actually had to build a bridge just to get the carts and the mowers over there.
Yeah. So one of the things about the topography is it's like the mountains of Virginia. What are those? The Blue Ridge, the Rocky Mountains? I don't know.
I mean, I doubt that it actually is, because I think we're a little too west away from the mountains. But this course was
big elevation.
I don't even want to. Undulation isn't even a word for this. Like, it wasn't undulation. It was elevation. It was elevation.
So we go over to 3. Every third hole of the Mike Strantz catalog is a par 3.
I did it in my head today, and every single of the East Coast ones, number 3 is a par 3.
So this one, 185 yards, carry over vegetation, over a pond, into this really cool. What's cool about this is we always say, like, he does the amphitheater with the tee boxes. This one wasn't. It was more linear.
It was kind of
perfectly linear. It was like a kidney-shaped tee box. But in order to get down to the green, you had to take a ride around this ridge, and you just got this beautiful 360-degree panoramic view of the green. The ride to the green was the amphitheater.
Yeah.
That was cool, dude.
Yeah, that was really
sharp.
Cool. Yeah.
Hard par 3. Number 4, par 5, but the alternate tee boxes from the back tees made it shooting out of a chute really, really long.
Yeah.
The up tees made it relatively easy. But again, carry a creek, risk reward, can't really go for it. Gotta land it on to an
up around the green. Yep. So that hole did remind me of like number 8 at Caledonia. You know, that creek short of the water.
Yeah.
You know, just kind of gave me that same kind of like vibe of like, go ahead and try it.
So from you're sitting there, you're like, oh, I'm 200 out, but I'm 200 to the pin, and I'm 185 to the creek.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, it's just not nice.
But
you know,
cool hole. You know, bunkers all down the right side, all that stuff. So very cool. Number 6, again, dude, big drive up the hill, big turn down the hill to the right. That's the one that you can actually just see a little tiny glimpse of it from the road. You can see the
glimpse.
You can see like a bunker. But
so
I mean,
you hit it up this hill, but when you get onto the top of the hill, the green is down this valley all the way down,
much elevation
and then it comes
change.
back up. Oh, and again, it's not the tee shots are relatively easy. You're not going to get in trouble with a good tee shot. But you need to hit the ball a long way. This course is on the longer side of the catalog. I didn't have a lot of 8-irons in my hand.
Some of the courses, some of the holes were like those, those typical 340, 350 from the blues.
Yeah.
But the elevation change was, you hit your 260 drive, but you still got, instead of having 100, you got, a 145 or something like that, just because you didn't get the roll out or whatever. So very cool.
So through a tunnel down to number 7.
7. Yep. Number 7 was that dog leg right that we hit it over the tree.
So I think we missed one. I think that's number 6, because 6 is the hardest
4
hole on the course. It's number 1 handicap.
Yeah. Yep.
So everybody hits the shot. You draw it down over this tree. It hits the thing. It runs down to 150 yards, and you go, I'm 142 out. How is this the number 1 handicap hole on the course? What's it?
Creek running across. Creek running across. You had almost like a heart-shaped green. Creek running right. 3 yards off the front of the green.
Just a mountain of heather in the back.
Yeah.
The green. If you walked across the green, it'd take you 8 steps to get from the front to the back, and it sets up like a dartboard. And the kidney shape, it's almost Mickey Mouse ear shaped to a degree. Heart shaped is better, but the pin was right up front. And if you missed left or right and you missed long, you can't miss short. If you miss long, you could end up with this 50 or 60 foot putt that is straight downhill, that even on quote unquote slow greens, you're like, I hope I don't putt this into the creek. Yeah. It's that severe. The first day, I'm like, if I 2-putt this, I'm gonna call it a. What did you do the first day? Because you got caught up on the top fringe.
Yeah, and with the camera and everything like that, I just brought my putter over, and I was like, I should probably bring a wedge. I had to putt through the fringe, and it didn't work out so well.
40 feet of fringe.
Well, just because of the angle. Yeah.
It
was silly.
It was just funny. So
awesome.
Then you go to number 7, a very good Mike Strantz par 5, a very good one. The drive, if you keep it right, there's no trouble. But the farther you go right, you got to go back to the left, because there's a big. It's not the button hook, the traditional Strantz button hook.
Yeah, no.
But there's like a. You were in it. What is it? A canyon over there?
Yeah, it's definitely. There's a canyon on the left. There's a canyon on the left off your tee shot, so don't go over there, which I did. Plenty of fairway out to the right. Then it comes back to the left and then back to the right. But in between
you can't go for it.
You can't go for it because there's trees blocking, and there's this canyon drops down into a waste area that is you can't see earth.
Yep. So the canyon runs down on the left. The fairway kind of sits up. It's almost like being on top of like an aircraft carrier. There's a canyon, and then the green sits up. But on 3 sides of the green, it comes down into another canyon. At the bottom, like as a savior, there's a giant, awful sand trap that is like we were both in it, and we both somehow miraculously got out of the thing. It's not as big as like the one on 11 at Tobacco Road, but
it's pretty close.
But it's formidable to the point where you're like, I don't want to be like, you can see from the fairway, you're like, well, don't go in that. But if you miss that and you miss bad, you're like, please get in that. But then you're in it, you're like, how do I get out of this?
Yeah,
right?
Totally.
Hit the green. Hit the green is the only answer.
Just play it smart, like all par 5, Strantz par 5s is play it smart. Do not go for the green.
So
number 8.
After playing Stonehouse and now being an aficionado of Mike Strantz courses, I will say that Mike Strantz's legacy to the game of golf is his creativity of his par 3s. Number 8 is, and he has par 3s that are 90 yards, that are as difficult as this ones that we were playing. Yeah. That was 200 yards. But he's up on top of this mountain, so he's like, hey, let me make this, what do they call it, a kidney shape?
Yeah.
So 2 tiers, upper tier, lower tier, still the same green, but what do you think it is, a 12-foot drop from the front to the back? You can't, I'm not tall enough.
It is definitely one of his most severe, if not his most severe, undulation in a green.
200 yards to a massive green complex, but there's an upper deck and a lower deck. The lower, it's kind of makes a dog leg. The green makes a dog leg.
It's a dog leg.
In the middle of the dog leg,
green.
Putting green. And it's 200 yards, nothing but waste area behind and left.
Do you know what I would compare?
Right.
I would compare this green to the practice green at Tobacco Road.
That's what it is. So
Just
I took a triple bogey both days, which was very smooth. And then for yourself,
I hit it on the green, but I was front. I 4-putted for a 5 and was happy to get out of there.
both days.
Yeah.
Oh.
Both days.
Oh my God.
4-putted.
Yep.
I was in the same spot. I was in the same spot both days. I would actually.
Yeah, so was I. In the
I would
woods.
actually hit it short of the. If you're not going to get on that back tier, you might as well just hit like a 6-iron. Be short and chip it.
Play
Pitch
like
it
a par 4. Play it down to like 170 yards.
But it was a cool hole, man. Cool hole.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
And then number 9 is a good finishing hole. You can start to see the new construction of the new homes that line it. But
come out of another shoot again, though.
Big carry though, and what's nice, one of the things that's the defining characteristic of Stonehouse is unlike any other Strantz course, there's no sharp edges. You just don't get you don't get like the flash bunkers and all this. Everything's rounded, everything's green, everything's 2-dimensional.
So
and then,
that was one thing that I was saying to Taylor was like the other Strantz courses. I mean, True Blue has, you know, a lot of sand and waste areas, but Caledonia's got the contrast of grass and sand. So does Bulls Bay, Tobacco Road, and Todd Hill Farm is like grass and rocks. Stonehouse is grass and trees. There's no contrast. So like you were saying, like 2-dimensional. Yeah. It doesn't have that, like, it's, I would say, a normal, what do they call American courses? You know, like overseas it's link style, and I forget what they call
Parkland.
it. Parkland. It was like a normal.
Yeah, it's a perfect Parkland.
Parkland course, you know, minus all the Strantz stuff that's in there, but on paper, it's grass. It's grass and trees.
So that's going to be the problem. Is the drone footage is going to look good? It's going to show you a golf course. The pictures that we took are going to show you a beautiful golf course. The videos we're going to shoot and the shorts are going to show you a beautiful golf course. Listen to us. I'm telling you, this is something very special that unless you're Steven Spielberg and you got some special cameras that can actually show you what you're looking at, you don't know about it until you experience it. And I really think that's what separates it from all the other Strantz courses. It's you can't see it from pictures. It just doesn't do it justice.
No.
So I just for time's sake, because I don't want to turn this into an hour-and-a-half podcast. I don't want to go through the whole back 9. But there are a couple of spectacular holes out there.
Oh, man. Again, the par 3s, absolutely stunning. Couple par... Oh, dude.
So let's just bring them in for the last...
I mean,
we got a
par
whole
5,
other course to talk about.
That par 5, 13, 10, 11, 12. Mm-hmm. Right? Well, hang on. 10, 11... Yeah, 12 is the par 5, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome.
So 10 starts you off the back. You got to go into the tunnel, past the tennis courts, and you get out there to
cool
start
hole.
on number 10, right?
Cool hole.
Yep.
11. It's got that kind of that adjacent green, right? That green. It's green adjacent. And then 12 was that par 5. You know, I love that. I love that hole. That tee shot is absolutely amazing.
Thin, but it's all funneled down into the middle. So you're like, as long as I keep it in the universe, right? I should trickle down into what's a very thin fairway, but then it's all islands and bunkers and stuff up. Once you get up on the green, and then you do what was 13?
You got to cross the street, and that's the one that we interviewed Adam, and he'll go over that hole with you guys. It's such a cool hole, such a cool hole.
So
don't say it. We'll just watch the interview.
Just watch it. So then we go to 14, and 14 you got to drive down around the back. Is that the big part?
Actually, hang on. I missed one. So 10 is the one down the hill. 11 was the one I birdied the first day. 12 is the one with green adjacent. The second. Yep. 12 is green adjacent. 13 is the par 5. 14 is over the street.
15 is across the street.
15 is a par 3.
is one of the devious par threes.
So cool. Such a cool par 3. Downhill, awesome.
So you know what? I just thought all the par threes are downhill, and they're all really long, right?
Yeah.
That's the one that's probably got the least amount of elevation change to it, but you still have to carry a canyon.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
and it's a
Big
giant green. I mean,
Big green.
you could build a Walmart on it, on that green. You know, Tuesday tip about how to get your 9-iron up on there.
16 was
16 was that cool hole. It had like the rocks. That's the one that I said I hit the 5-wood out of the grass bunker the first day, and I chipped out from under the tree the second day, and I'm like,
you're like,
there's just got to be a better way to play that hole. There's got to be a driver.
That's a cool hole.
Pitch and wedge 9-iron.
Yeah.
But again, another giant, massive green. But again, you know, up and down these hills, and then you get to 17.
17 another
is
awesome
like
par 3.
The Mama Lagazza par 3s. But again, you're way up on this hill. You're hitting down across all this stuff, landing on a massive green.
Yeah. Then, you know, you're hitting over this canyon again. It's so cool.
But I love 18 par 5, very Strantz-esque par 5.
So driving up on first day, I purposely didn't look at what 18 was going to look like. Like anything on
I saw the green.
The internet. Yeah, we saw the green, but you know, we didn't really I didn't look at the hole. So we drove up to driving on the cart path. And one thing we didn't say about this so far is driving from hole to hole is also a little cool adventure. You know, going through the woods, scoping out the land, bridges and everything like that is very, very, very cool. I like that it's like that. I don't like that there's holes right next to each other and things like that. So very cool. But we're driving up to 18. We kind of turned the camera on. We're like, dude, let's see what we're gonna get on Strantz 18. And we were not disappointed, dude.
So there's plenty of fairway right or a 214-yard canyon that doesn't really save you that much. If you take the thing on, maybe you catch like another 5 or 8 yards, right? So it doesn't make a lot of sense. But whether you're right or left, if you chose to keep it out to the right, keep it out to the left, you got a very reasonable shot into a green. Like day one, I think I had 200 yards. Day two, I had like 220. But it's downhill. But the green, the whole left side is like all Virginia jungle, right, into a canyon. So you're up on these big plateaus, big generous areas. But the closer you get to the green, the narrower it gets and the narrower it gets. So now you're 200 out and you got this long, thin green that if you were good enough to fly it on, or you can kind of sneak it down the side, maybe you could be putting for an eagle, right? Or you could get into schmang and end up with a gigantic number, you know?
Yeah. The stuff that's down off of the off the canyon is you're not finding that ball. You're not finding that. That's like. No. Number
going
2
down
at
there,
Royal
you
New
look
Kent.
for it. It's gone. Yeah, it's gone. Right.
Yeah,
so,
dude,
like I
cool
said,
hole.
so an unbelievable course, and in great Strantz style, the Stonehouse bar and grill has a gigantic deck. I bet that deck holds 80 people. Right?
Dude, what a cool!
And they have a garage door.
And you're just like looking at it all the way down the 18th hole, and it's open and it's cool. It's inviting. It's something special.
So it looks like the clubhouse at True Blue when you're coming at it, except it's not just the clubhouse. It's the back patio, like triple deck bar that just people could sit out there all night. They have a big garage door they open up to a stone. I guess it's a concrete bar.
Yeah.
The place is amazing. The bartenders are spectacular, and you could sit there all afternoon and watch people challenge themselves on 18. It's really an incredible finishing hole and a great place to hang out.
Yeah,
right?
it was so good. So
we can both say with all authority that Stonehouse, while it's not as manicured as the other courses, and their marketing is different, more towards members. If you're a Strantz fan, if you're a Just the Tips fan, do yourself a favor and go play the best kept secret in Virginia and go play Stonehouse golf in Tuano.
Toano.
Virginia.
Toano.
Just Google it.
Toano.
Toano.
Yeah.
So
listen,
meantime,
the course was awesome. I don't know if the word manicured is not. It not being manicured is not it, because they are, they're taking good care of it. It just needs a little bit more maturity, I think that, this place was grown up. Like the greens were, nobody was mowing these greens and everything like that.
They said there was 3 feet of grass in the fairways. Okay,
yeah.
To get that from where it was to where it is now, again, you can play an emerging course. One of the things that we get a lot on TikTok is when we post about our other affiliate partners, whether it's Tobacco or Todd Hill. Everybody says I'd love to play there, but not everybody is a $250 a round golfer, right? Yeah. Not everybody can jump on a plane and scoot out, but this place extraordinarily accessible,
the deal.
And you get all the Mike Strantz feelings.
Exactly, dude. Like Tobacco Road gets all this notoriety, right? Todd Hill Farm is starting to get it. Caledonia gets it. True Blue gets it. All these courses, they market it that way, or you have social media influencers doing it. Mm-hmm. Stonehouse is the Strantz. You're getting the Strantz at Stonehouse. You're just not paying the Tobacco Road price. You know what I mean? Like you're getting the Strantz there, and you will see it once you get there. You're gonna be like, dude, like this is awesome, and I can't believe I paid $80 for this. Whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is. It like I said, it's a blast.
Go now because it's gonna go up.
It's
gonna go up.
Yeah. So you and I were having conversations with some folks at the bar the one night. And we said the same thing. They go, hey, we're thinking about selling our house. And I'm like, you might want to wait like 1 year.
Yeah.
Because I know what happened at Tobacco Road when we played it the first year, and it was fine. It was perfect. It was beautiful as far as condition went. Todd Hill Farm, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Todd Hill Farm. Like, it was great. And but then, like, it got discovered, right? And then the next thing you know, they're number 48 best course in America. Next thing you know, it's really hard to get on. Next thing, the Bryant brothers are playing out there, and these guys. So Strantz is he's like Nikola Tesla. He's just making this incredible cultural comeback because it's so cool and it's so worth it. But the one that doesn't get the notoriety, the one that's not all ramped up yet, the one that doesn't have a travel company also attached to it, is Stonehouse. And like I said, if you I'm telling you, go out there, talk to Adam, talk to Rich, get yourself on there, one afternoon, enjoy the Stranzness of it. And like I said, man, I'll be back there as soon as I can. It's going to be real hard to drive through Virginia to Myrtle Beach without stopping in the play.
Exactly. Absolutely.
So while you and I are out there enjoying the Stranzness of Stonehouse, we brought down 2 special guests with us on our road trip.
Yeah, dude. I brought my daughter, my older daughter, my oldest daughter, and
so you brought Taylor, and I brought Mrs. Paddock.
Yeah.
So and the reason is normally you and I we hit the bunk beds at the Hampton Inn, but we had this Airbnb that we knew had enough bedrooms for everybody, and we said, hey, you guys can come on down. Do you want to play golf? Do you want to do this? And they said, no, we just want to relax. We want to see. It's near Williamsburg, Virginia. And we'll get our nails done. We want to go to a thrift store. We said, great, no problem. Plus, after margaritas, we'll have a designated driver or 2. But you said, hey, text the girls, see how they're doing over at the house. Because they just dropped us off at the course. We couldn't wait to get there, right? So I text Mrs. Paddock, and I said, hey, how's the house, right? And I heard the words Airbnb from Mike. And my wife, who, let's just say she's particular about her travel accommodations. Not that she can't or won't do it on a budget, or if you're only staying overnight at one place. But she likes the finer things at life, and she said, I think I found my dream house. She goes, this place is unbelievable. And I go, okay. And coming from her, I go, okay, now I'm really interested. And again, I didn't do any research on it, right? I didn't see the good guy, or who was it? Bob Does Sports, right?
Yep.
So they come pick us up. The Mexican restaurant, which was spectacular, was 2 minutes away from the Shamrock Hill, the Hooley House.
Yeah.
And when we pulled up to that thing, what was your first impression?
It was 4 times bigger than I expected. And
Yeah.
it was just that kind of old, like Southern colonial look to it. I was like, dude, this looks pretty good. This looks. I didn't know what to expect, but it definitely.
Me neither. And it was. It was
definitely
after dark.
exceeded my expectations of whatever it was. Yes, it was after dark, but it definitely exceeded any of my expectations.
And I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, how big is this place? Like, I couldn't get the full feel of it. And we walked in through up onto this big, beautiful back deck, and we walked into this massive room. It must have been 15 by 30.
Oh, that back room was humongous.
It was just a game room. There was a top-of-the-line billiard table, like unbelievable top-of-the-line, a poker table, TVs, fireplace. Yeah. And I go, okay, this is nice, but that room is twice the size of the Hampton Inn's bedrooms that you and I stay in.
It's true.
The game room, right? You could have put 2 rooms in there.
Yeah.
Then you go into a wonderfully appointed kitchen, right? All state-of-the-art appliances.
Yeah.
There's a dining room that could easily sit 10.
Yeah.
There's a library, and the library was kind of cool. I mean, old oak shelves with awesome books, mostly golf books. The big overstuffed brown leather chairs. It's dark wood paneling, and I'm like, okay. And now we've been in 1, 2, 3, 4 rooms, and none of them are a bedroom yet.
Dude,
there's a grand entranceway.
Grand entranceway that leads you right up to the stairs upstairs, or you can go left into what I would consider the fancy living room. I
would say it's a solarium.
That's not one of the rooms my daughter said that this house was like maybe 1 room short of the clue board.
It is. I'll give you that. This was a front room or a sitting area, and it was really beautiful. It was a fireplace, a couple of chairs, and a place to do a puzzle.
Yeah.
That led into a master wing. I'll call it the southern wing of the house.
Yeah.
With a king size bed, a pull out couch, and a full size bathroom. Right.
And then upstairs,
so like I said,
those rooms upstairs,
they're massive.
Those rooms upstairs, there was 3 of them, and humongous. Each one was humongous. Each had their own bathroom, and 2 of the rooms, one of I stayed in, had this like extra like hidden secret room off of it.
It's like a bonus room, right?
Yeah, and like the one that I was in, it had like a rowing machine in it, and then the other one, nobody stayed in that room. That had like a putting green in it.
So I mean, the place is immense. It's immaculate. It's appointed within an inch of its life, and it's even like a little fancy.
It's all updated. Yeah, it's all updated.
But like even the paper towels had like a bow around them. You know, like dude, I'm like, that's kind of fancy. I mean, that tickles you a little bit. But here's the thing. Is you could rent out this house, Airbnb, anytime it's available, and you and your foursome could come down there and have the most palatial space you ever had. You could do your foursome.
Dude, you can get 8 people in there.
Well, I was gonna say you could do.
You can easily get 8 people.
You could do foursomes with spouses, no problem, right? Foursome, plus
definitely,
n plus 1, so there's 8. You could do an eightsome. I dare say you could probably squeeze 12 people in there. I think you could put 3 foursomes in that house, not be on top of each other or make it weird or anything like that. Because of the fold-out couches, the other rooms and things. I know talking with Tim MacArthur, the general manager, they want to get like Murphy beds that flip out of the walls and make it so if all you wanted was, for like you and your foursome or your foursomes plus 1, perfect. But if you wanted to stuff that thing full of 16 golf dudes, they're gonna let you do it too. You know. You ever see those videos?
So here's the cool thing.
Oh, go ahead,
dude. We're not even done with it yet. We're not
No.
done with the house yet.
Nope.
So outside they have this awesome back deck to hang out on.
Yeah.
And then there's a pool, in-ground pool, saltwater pool. And then there's the Hooley House, which is a tiny home. Calling it a shed would be like offensive, and it wasn't a garage. It's a tiny home on property that has a kitchen, a bathroom, a full bath, might I add, and a simulator inside.
Simulator. With the simulator has the putting green on the deck. It's got the big screen TVs. You'd be happy just to spend time in the Hooley House. You could say I'll stay there for the weekend and be perfectly content.
Yeah, dude. If I was one of the 12, in the 12-some, I would sleep out. I would pick that room. Yeah. I'm sleeping on the couch. I'm hanging out here
in the Hooley House,
dude.
You should have your own private house.
Top of the line simulator. Has a Unicore simulator. Mm-hmm. You got the whole setup of sound and that, and you can watch movies out there. It's got a couch, everybody to chill and sit on. It's got a kitchen. It's got a full bath, legit, and it has GS Pro. So actually, me and Taylor, while you were sleeping, me and Taylor played Georgia Country Club, which is Augusta, and I did have a birdie.
Oh, very nice. Put it on the tracker, dude. So
speaking of, I mean, dude, I'm catching you, bro.
All right,
I'm catching.
All right, I had 2 on Saturday. Exceeded your expectations?
By 100-fold, dude. I mean, this place was
blew me
top notch. Just so cool. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, we only spent 2 nights there, and we were playing golf every single day that we didn't really get to enjoy. Do you know what Hooley means?
No, I don't.
Party.
Really?
It's the party house. Yeah. Which is Irish for party. And
so here's
we
the thing
didn't get to party
Saturday night, I didn't want to go out for Mexican food. I said many times, I just want to go back to the house. I just want to have a nice glass of water and enjoy the amenities of the house.
That is not how any of that conversation went.
Well, what happens on Saturday when you birdie or when you eagle 18 at Stonehouse in front of a crowd of people? When you go driver 3-wood to 15 feet and then you drain the putt for your first eagle, you may have an adult beverage or 9. And follow it up with
high alcohol content.
And follow it up with a margarita the size of a 50-gallon fish tank.
And I did tell him it was your birthday.
Somebody might have mentioned it was my birthday, of which it wasn't, but I found myself wearing. I saw the pictures of me wearing a sombrero. I don't really remember that.
And drinking bottom shelf tequila.
Long story short is while you and Taylor and Miss Paddock enjoyed the amenities, I found the bed to be extraordinarily comfortable, but was extremely disappointed that I missed out. And all I kept saying was, we need more time. We need more time.
The amenities were great. The amenities were amazing, and we're going to come out with some content of just the Shamrock Hill house and Hooley house. We'll be coming out with that content as well.
So here's the thing, and this is what blew me away, though, dude. The next morning I wake up, and I wanted to get to our good friends at Royal New Kent. I wanted to get out there early because I've kind of taken it on the responsibility of taking the pictures. You're always on the drone. You always get the DJI. But I said, I said I've embraced this still photography for us, and I wanted to. I don't know. I think I'm Ansel Adams or something. I want the morning light while I'm out there. But the Hooley House and the Shamrock Hill, it's across the street. It's within. For me, it was within walking distance of Royal New Kent. It's across the street from the entranceway. It's right there.
Oh yeah, that's one thing that we left out. That it's right there.
It's right there. It's not like I gotta be honest. We were looking at Airbnbs, and some of them were 5 minutes away, which is fine. Some were 10 minutes away, is fine. Didn't really seem to be a hotel that was like 5 minutes away. So we were looking at Airbnbs. Yeah. This is right across the street. It's the closest thing you could possibly stay in to Royal New Kent. Gulf Ireland in Virginia.
Yeah. So definitely got to check that out when you guys are headed down there. Is go stay at the Shamrock Hill.
So we get to play Royal New Kent on Sunday morning, and it is a perfect Virginia morning. The mist is burning off the lake overlooked between 10 and 18. The sun is coming up through the tall pines and the Virginia morning. The birds are chirping. The little rabbits are playing in the heather as you and I tackle the hardest course in the Strantz catalog.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was so cool.
And dude, so we got there. So you got there before me. I woke up and Miss Paddock was like, yeah, he's over there already. He did a walk of shame over to the course. I said, all right, good. I'm like, all right, good. He should. And then, so I got over there, met you at the clubhouse. I mean, I love the way that clubhouse is situated. Kind of, obviously same kind of feel as Bulls Bay, that clubhouse just being focal point of the entire golf course. And then we went out and did our thing, man. We went out and
just real quick though, a couple of updates since the last time, because we were down there in November, and guys, the place was full. It was a full tee sheet on a chilly late November morning. We get down there on a beautiful, picturesque Virginia late May morning, and it was awesome. So the pro shop got a couple of new things in there that I definitely want to mention. First off, they've partnered, Tim MacArthur, Willie Downs, the management staff of Royal New Kent have partnered with Heidi Strantz, Mike Strantz's widow, to license some of his pencil drawings of Royal New Kent. They now have these beautiful replica. It's not a replica. What is it? A lithograph? I don't know. It's a piece of art, but it's his pencil drawings of 2 and 18. But it's the copies of his originals, and you can buy those right in the pro shop, and they're amazing.
And buy them.
Yep.
Dude, and I'm gonna say this on podcast so Tim can hear me. Is like, hey, I need like 4 of those Adidas shirts that you have in stock. There's a couple in camo. It's almost like we were kind of vibing without even knowing it. But I need those in XX and send them on up. Thanks, buddy. So there's so much cool stuff in that shop now.
So the shirt lineup was great. I bought myself, and I couldn't help it. I have one of my favorite shirt that I own is a one of those lightweight hoodies with the hood in the pocket, and it's the Tobacco Farm or Tot Hill Farms light one. Well, there was a Strantz one, and it's Royal New Kent. Mike Strantz on the back of it. It's royal blue, the Rondout Ganders color, the high school colors, and it was a great shirt. I had to scoop that up, no problem.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you love it. I mean, dude, those shirts are awesome. Again, most pro shops don't really carry my size, so we're gonna have to special order.
He's all
pretty much everything that was in that pers.
Royal New Kent mallet covers, which are the like an homage to the flag, which is an homage to Ireland. But the thing that caught me off guard, and maybe it shouldn't. The last time you and I were there, we kind of ran in and ran out. We didn't get a chance to spend a lot of time. Plus, we were too busy putting out the drone that was on fire. So we didn't get a lot of chance to spend time at the restaurant. I just grabbed something quick in the morning and just grabbed like a sausage, egg, and cheese and a coffee. Mike, I'm telling you, and I'll on my grandmother's grave, that was the best sausage, egg, and best breakfast sandwich I ever had in my life. I don't know what they do.
You wolfed that thing down.
Shout out to Bobby in the kitchen. And when you're there, it's a miracle. I've had every sausage, egg, and
I love how the sausage, egg, and cheese got its own segment in this podcast.
Dude, it's gonna have its own Tuesday tip on how to eat it correctly because it's hot. It's like 2 like buttery rolls with like double egg, double sausage, double cheese, and this thing is hot and oh my god! And on like it wasn't cool out in the morning. It was just before it got warm out, and this thing was just perfect with a cup of coffee. God's sakes, was that
dude.
good?
Wow.
Sorry,
A good 2-minute segment on.
I digress.
All right, here's the deal.
The Strantz Pub's got it
Pro
going
shop.
on though.
Pro Shop's got it going on. Everything in that building's got it going on. But listen, we went and played. We went out on the back and filmed. We took photos. We did drone. We did everything on the back. And obviously, for me, I was like re-scoping it all out because I love Royal New Kent, dude. I love that it's different. I love that it's that link style. I love that you're getting, double Strantz, I guess, because you're getting the link style, which is tough in itself, and then you're getting link style Strantz, and combining those two, you're getting, something special.
So here's the thing too: is Tim? We had a really good. We should have filmed it. It was kind of off the cuff. We had a really good long format conversation with Tim, from Royal New Kent, right? And he was just he's passionate about the course. He's passionate about the direction he's taking it. But he said many times it's a very difficult course. It's intended to be difficult. It's championship quality. It's keel quality as far as the layout. It's meant to challenge you. And from the Invicta tees, which means champion tees, it's like 7,400 yards. So you and I went down last time and we played like one up from the Invicta, which is like 7,000 yards, and we played it on no sleep. And we played it at the the last day of November, on like a 37-degree day, and we got our butts kicked. And we're like, that's fine. Yeah. But Tim's like, it's a hard course, it's a hard course. So you and I decided to make the tactical decision to move up one set of tees to what, 60?
So we played the blacks.
It was what, 6,500, 67?
No, I think it was 68. I could double check.
So somewhere between 65 and 68, but regular blue tees. And we said, we're both playing very good. And outside of Bulls Bay, which who knows if I'll ever get a chance to play it again, it's that private. But every other course, including Stonehouse, I've shot in the 80s, and I said, or in the 70s, and all I said was, I just want to play well today, right?
67.33 was the black tees.
Yeah.
And golds are 72. They're 71.59, and Invicta are 74.40.
So I beat you on Friday. You played really, really good at Stonehouse on Saturday. As a matter of fact, at one point you had back-to-back birdies to start the round. You were 200
three on the front nine.
Yeah, 3 birdies on the front nine. So again, you played great on. So we had a grudge match, and we said we're both going to dominate this course. It's not as hard as Tim was saying it is. We're in great playing shape. We couldn't have a better day. There was no excuses. How'd we do?
I'm going to show the outside of the scorecard, but I'm not going to show the inside. It ate my lunch, that's for sure. Listen, I'm going to say this on camera. Mm-hmm. I'm putting Royal New Kent up there with difficulty equal to the Ocean course.
I'm there with you, Mike. I have zero. I had no qualms against that. I played about
I'm probably going to get some crap from my Ocean course buddies, but I'm putting it up there with difficulty of the Ocean course. Yeah.
And again, it's not tricked up. The greens aren't running at 15s. The greens are running fast, by the way. They're quick, but they're not they're not out of control. They're manageable speed, but they're quick. The rough, it's not Oakmont. It's not U.S. Open rough. It's rough, but the fairways are accessible. The layout is
target
difficult.
Link style Strantz course.
And if you get a little wild, you're done. You and I said, because how many balls did you buy before you went out?
I bought 3 dozen. Actually, shout out to Bob in the pro shop. All right, I was just gonna buy a sleeve of Strixons. I was just gonna buy a sleeve. And he goes, actually, if you buy a dozen, if you buy 2 dozen, you get the third one for free or whatever it was. I walk out there with
You come out of
three
the
dozen
pro
strip
shop
sites.
with 3 dozen balls. I go, it's hard. How hard do you think it is? I said, I'm going to play with the same ball all day. It made it to number 2, right? That was the
Oh
tee shot on
my
number 2
God.
was as far as I made
You're
it.
an
I hit a
idiot.
good. I thought I hit a good one, you know.
You're an idiot.
But
Listen,
so,
we're going to put out content of both of these courses. We're going to do a hole by holes of both of these courses to watch exactly what not to do. All right. Stonehouse is a little bit of what to do, and Royal New Kent's a little bit of what not to do. But
So just to wrap up Royal New Kent, I know this is a long podcast, but it was such a great trip and just 3 days of pure bliss. I mean, so Royal New Kent's got a
great
couple,
people too, man.
yeah. Royal New Kent's got a couple of like stretches of holes where for 2 or 3 or 4 holes you're really immersed in like some heavy duty golfing. Whether it's like I'd say like 1, 2, and 3 are like really, really impressive, but 4, 5, and 6 are impressive in a very different way. And then you finish with 7, 8, and 9, which 7 is one of my favorite par 3s just because of the way it looks.
Yeah.
I've never been to Ireland, but I know I wasn't standing in Virginia when I was looking at that tee shot. All right. I don't know what golf in Ireland looks like, but I would imagine it's pretty damn close to number 7. Number 8 is an incredibly Strantz-tastic hole that'll challenge you in the very best ways. And then number 9.
I love that hole.
Number 9 is such a cool finishing hole. But then we get to the front. 10 is a.
To the back.
Oh, dude. Oh, I'm still kicking myself.
10. If I could, I want to play 10 18 times and see what I shoot. That's what I want to do.
36 over.
Yeah, probably right. Probably right.
11's amazing. 12 is so unbelievable. Now, we were unfortunate, and I'll say this, that we ended up playing the same pins as we played back in November. They rotate the pins. It was just one of those things. We happened to be there at the same time. And this 12th hole could play from the front tees to the front pins 50 yards. From the back tees to the back pins, it's probably 260, right? The amount of tee locations and the amount of pin locations that they...
All right, we're going to show the difference. Well, it won't show a pin difference, but...
well, what is it to the middle?
12. 12? Holy crap, dude. All right, so from black tees is 174 to the middle.
To the middle.
You want to know green depth? Green depth. Do you want to know it? Take a guess.
50 yards.
86 yards. 86 yards. So if you had a front pin, let's just subtract 35 from 86. What's that?
Okay. So it's not right in the fringe, it's in the front third, right?
Yeah. So 35 from 174 is 129.
129.
139. 139.
130. Yeah.
All right. Now add 35 to 174.
It's
199? 209?
Yeah.
Dude, so 139 to 209. Holy
Depending on where they put the pin,
crap.
without getting ridiculous. Just their regular locations. They could put it back farther. Wow. They could put it up closer. What is it from the Invicta tees?
224. So add another 35 to that. So you were right. 259.
259. And it could be farther back. They could get crazy. They could put it farther back from that. What's it from the up tees?
That's so they have greens.
Yeah.
They also have whites. The whites are 172. The greens are 115. So minus 35 from that. 80.
80 yards?
Yeah.
It's 80 yards. Yeah, that whole play is between 80 yards and 260.
Nice.
You'll never get bored.
You better be playing that like a par 4.
You'll never be bored with that hole in your entire life, right? And then you come over. 13's a great hole. You finally stopped hitting the curb after playing it 3 times. You know.
Yeah.
Yep. And then there's something special.
Yeah. You go a little bit of a drive. You have to kind of go like outside the neighborhood a little bit, down through a tunnel, across the street, over towards where the horse racetrack is. And there's three really cool holes over there.
So Colonial Downs, one of the most famous race courses in America, is right behind the 14th Green 15th Tee complex, and they run horse races there basically most of the year. And it's a a really special place in racing history. I'm not a big horse racing guy, so I don't know a lot about it. But I know that this is the place, if you're in the greater mid-Atlantic states, where you're going to go watch a horse race, right? Well, the three holes that make up 14, 15, and 16 are essentially like a U shape or a horseshoe, right? But they're also incredibly difficult. Like an amen corner, like a oh shit corner, they named it aptly the horseshoe. So congratulations to the team out there with coming up with a really good name. So the question is, you have to answer yourself is what are you going to shoot on the horseshoe? A par 4, a par 3, and a par 4. That's all they are, Mike.
Yeah.
Par 4, a par 3, and a par 4. That's all they are.
That's it. Yeah.
What are you going to shoot?
Yeah.
What are you going to shoot?
Myself.
I promise you ain't breaking par. I promise you. So we ran into the first, I'll just leave it at this. We ran into the first illegal pin of the year. All right. We watched people putting to this pin location on a Sunday afternoon that was, some people thought it was comical. Other people literally had it like, this is ridiculous. You're ruining my round.
Dude, they were going into the pro shop and complaining.
Listen, just the greens are fast. They're very undulated. That pin got a little high up into a space that once it dried out, you couldn't find a way to stop the ball near the hole. You'd roll it within an inch of the cup, and it would come down 30 feet to you. It was Strantz-tastic in the best possible way.
It was amazing. It was awesome. I loved it. I could have sat there all day and just watched everybody putt to that.
Dude, I wish there was 2 lawn chairs and the cart girl there, because that would have been the spot to hang out. Just the comedic level and the frustration level simultaneously. I love those 3 holes. Go play Royal New Kent for the horseshoe. Let us know what you shoot.
Yeah.
And then you
17,
finish up
par 5.
with the green adjacent. We talked about it in another podcast, but it's just worth mentioning it again. Such a strategic hole, because the more you cheat towards the green, which again, you're not getting there in 2. I don't think there's a way to get there in 2, but you want to set up a good third shot. But the more you cheat to get close for the third shot, the more trouble you bring into place. And if you don't angle it right, you make yourself carry this long creek, wetland, ditchy kind of area that could turn into a giant number. Yeah.
And you have to hit a cut.
It's a really interesting hole from a strategy standpoint. Cool. And I need to play it like 10 or 12 more times before I figure it out, I think.
So we'll play 10 9 times and 17 9 times. Actually, let's just play Royal New Kent like 10 more times.
I know, right? And then you finish with what I will call the hardest finishing hole in the Strantz catalog. We all know Caledonia.
I would say the same.
We know Caledonia's got a great finishing hole because you have to carry an inlet of water.
Same
all the courses have great finishing holes. This is True Blue's got a great finishing hole on number 18, because you come right back to the clubhouse for a really pretty finish, devilish green.
Water up the left side. Yep.
Yeah, Bulls Bay, the one that comes back up the hill, is fun and could really set you back some trouble. Tobacco
Road, awesome.
Is so much fun. Tot Hill Farm,
awesome
so much fun. We just talked about Stonehouse's 18th hole, but dude, my palms started sweating before I finished putting out on 17, because I knew I was going to have to play that hole. It's hard. It's a hard hole.
I bet that there is a predominant wind there, and it seems to always be in your face. I mean, we only played it twice, and both times I think you handed me like a refurbished Pro V1, because I thought I piped that ball. And you were like 30 yards past me, which is ridiculous.
You know I don't have my glasses on, so I can't read if it said refurbished or if it just said,
Dude,
Mike's new favorite ball.
I felt like that was my best drive of definitely in the top 3 of my life, and you were 30 yards past me. There's no way.
QI 35. So the great thing about this hole is it in great Mike Strantz style. The carry over this giant water body looks like you can't make it. It looks like you don't have it in the bag to make it. It's really not that bad. What'd you say? It was like 180 or 165 or something like that. It's not brutal, right?
It's not far.
It looks really far. Also, once you get up there, the fairway's super forgiving to the left and the right. I mean, you could really get a little left, you could really get a little right and be perfectly fine. What you can't do is be short. Because even a great, what did I have? 165 in? Was it 165?
Yeah, and you hit a good drive.
I murdered one. And now I got 165 carry, slight downhill, all over water to one of the thinnest greens. And I didn't realize, by the way,
deep.
Because I never finished the hole last time because I hit it in the water so many times. I didn't realize that water feature comes around the back of the green. It's actually a full island
all
green.
the way around.
I thought it was just a big heather and all the beautiful foliage.
No,
it's
all
surrounded
the way
on
around.
85% surrounded by water.
Yeah,
and it's super thin. And I'm hitting a 6-iron into this thing into the wind. Oh, dude, she's a killer to finish with.
You did chicken out left. You chickened out left. Got up and down, right?
So there is a little bit of a bailout. Pro tip: if you want to bail out, leave it long and left, like up against the stairs that come down to this thing. And there's a little collection area that you don't have to flirt with all the water and the stuff on the right. And I did get up and down, and I did make par. And I said a little prayer to Mike Strantz, and a tear rolled down my cheek because I parred number 18, and I had just had a perfect day in Virginia, and those two things came together. Yeah.
Perfect weekend.
It was a perfect weekend. So,
now listen, we should give a big shout out to everybody that helped us on this trip. Everybody that's helped us on the Strantz 7 really is everybody has been absolutely amazing through everything.
So first, I would like to say first and foremost is go ahead. You do one and I'll do one.
You can do your thing.
I want to thank Willie Downs and say congratulations to his family on the nuptials of his daughter. Congratulations, but Willie really gets it, dude. He's old school Virginia. He's old school golf. He's old school, but he gets social media. He understands what Just the Tips is trying to do. He's supporting us in every way he possibly can. If there's anything that we can do for him and Tim and Royal New Kent, they just have to let us know. The best thing we can do is tell you to go play there, and I'm promising you're not going to be disappointed. You're going to have the time of your life, right? So number one, Willie
bring
Downs.
3 dozen balls though. I'm kidding.
They do. There's a lot of Kirklands in the woods out there.
I did probably lose 6 balls. I did probably lose 6 balls on that round.
Yeah.
It was a rough round.
So thanks, Willie.
Everybody over at Stonehouse, Adam Boucher, Rich, the general manager, everybody over there is absolutely great as well. They get it as well. They understand what they're sitting on. And like Adam said, product. it's kind of a best kept secret. Kind of torn between, putting the word out there or kind of keeping it to ourselves, because that course is something special, man. I really loved that course. And like we said, it could use a little bit of maturing, but I actually felt like everything was great. Like I love plush fairways like that where you can take a good divot. Greens were rolling. Greens were rolling. Like you said, he keeps them slow on purpose. He's doing you a favor. So when you go there, understand that those greens are slow for your benefit. Yeah. And I think I want to make it short about that, because honestly, I don't want people walking off of there and not understanding like why they're like that.
So what's funny is you and I listened to our Mike Jones interview on the way. Nice thing about a 5-6 hour ride on the way home is we can revisit some of our old material. And we have this great Mike Jones video, and Mike Jones said Because we were asking, like, you guys built this thing, and then these poor green superintendents have to try and maintain this thing, right? And he did say, he goes,
dude, like that one hole, number 8 at Stonehouse, like, seriously, I bet Mike Strantz wasn't thinking about the mower. He like, the guy needs to wear a seatbelt while he's going up and down that thing on the mower.
But Mike Jones did say, he goes, back in the old days when we built these things, he goes, they just weren't ramping greens up like that. Like, greens weren't meant to run at 10s. That wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
You know, traditionally. So I think that you're playing those greens in a traditional way that Mike Strantz would have, we built the course for and certainly would have approved of, you know?
Yeah.
So, but Adam and Rich, you guys were the GOAT. And by the way, Adam's a player, dude. Go get your. He gives a ton of lessons down there. Next time you're in Virginia in that neck of the woods, go down and see Adam. Get him over on the range and get him to show you how he hits that sling and draw into these par threes and gets it to stop. If he can teach you that,
it's the most nonchalant pars I've ever seen. Like nonchalant pars. Like, I'll just sling this up here and just tap it in.
He brings Stonehouse to its knees. So Adam, nice job. Yep.
Shamrock Hill, Hooley House. Check that out, guys. It's really something cool there. Yeah. We need to get back there, for real.
So do yourself a favor. I would say this. You know, Mike, what that place is perfect for is the guys and girls weekend. If you're 4 guys that golf and you got 4 ladies that don't come on the guys trip, you know, because they don't want to play golf and they don't want to be stuck at the course all day, bring them down there. Our girls, your daughter, my wife, spent the entire weekend in thrift shops and antique stores and villages, and Williamsburg, Virginia's right there. I mean, this is the great couples getaway where and again, if your families don't work like this and you got 3 girls that play and 1 guy and the guys want to go out and go to brewery tour or ghost tours, I get it. But you could go with 4 people that go play golf and 4 people, the spouses, the significant others, that go do other stuff, and everybody will be tickled to death. You could rent that house.
I asked my daughter too. I was like, were you? I asked my daughter, I'm like, did you have fun? She was like, yeah, I had a blast. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah, 16-year-old girl on a golf trip with me and you and my wife, and she had a blast. You know, in that neck of the woods. So they said having a pool helps. You know, having that in-ground pool is a winner. By the way, the pool
simulator.
We didn't ask, but the pool at Royal New Kent's dope too. I wonder if you stay there, if you can go hang out by the pool at Royal New Kent. I'm sure Tim and Willie can make that happen too. Yeah. But dude.
All right, dude.
I'm beat.
That's a long podcast.
It is, but it's worth it. Maybe we break it in half and make it part A and part B. It's like the White Album.
Nah, they'll just watch the whole thing, A side and a B side.
Exactly. Put it on. We're gonna put this podcast on vinyl.
All right, dude. Episode 81 in the books.
81, 82, 83, 81 A, B, C, and D. But long story short, dude, this is what Just the Tips is about. I'll just kind of end by saying this, if you don't mind, is that when you and I first started this a couple of years ago, people kept asking us, what is Just the Tips about? What are you guys trying to accomplish? What are you trying to do? What we did last weekend, what we did back in March, where we go to these destinations and we're bringing you everything. We're bringing you the good, the bad, the burritos, everything, right? Go for a 3-day weekend. It's not going to break the bank. It's 5-6 hours from the New York metro area. It's a getaway weekend that you will remember the rest of your life. Go have a blast, dude. Go to Virginia, right? Go to Stonehouse. Go to Royal New Kent.
All right, dude.
All right, man. Thanks to all our sponsors. You guys know who they are.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll put them down in the description below. Buy your shirt.
Buy your shirt. All right, man. I'm going to go find a burrito. I'm Adam.
I'm Mike.
Just the tips.
Just the tips.